Joining me from YPB Group's John Houston. John, good afternoon. Good to meet you.
Hi, Andrew. How are you? Thanks for Proactive's interest in our business.
Look, good to see you, John. Thanks for your time. YPB Group, give us a bit of an intro, John.
Okay, so YPB stands for Your Protected Brand, but originally it was Yu Pin Bao in Chinese, and it was an opportunity that I saw to invest in a technology and a solution that was really for social good. And that's how I got into it. I was actually the angel investor behind the original technology that we developed, which was an invisible tracer product. And it came from the premise that if the Chinese or a counterfeiter could see something, they could copy it. And our tracer technology is invisible, unable to be copied, meets FDA food contact requirements, et cetera, and able to be scanned by a very simple, inexpensive little scanner. And so on that basis, I invested in the company initially, and then ended up being the angel investor on steroids. And I've now put a significant amount of cash into the business over time. We IPO'd in 2014. The premise of the business to do something good for humanity was a long-term kind of vision that I had. However, it's now become much more relevant to the situation that we see in the world today, where e-commerce has taken over. Customers don't really know if they're buying the real thing or not. There's a huge counterfeit industry. The counterfeit industry globally probably ranks in terms of revenue or cost in comparison to a large country like Canada. So it's an enormous industry. And I wanted to do something good for humanity. I'm still working on that premise. I did have a couple of roadblocks in the way. I founded the company, did a reverse listing in Australia in 2014, brought a management team in with a evidently high-powered CEO who ended up blowing the company up and putting a lot of high-cost executives into the company. And I took back the management, day-to-day management of the company in, I guess, 2018 or so. And I've rebuilt the company since then. And I've got a great company now with great people, with now actually with the COVID-19 dilemma that the world faces, I think the best opportunity that we've ever had, because we've got a lean company now. Our products are trusted and proven. We have, with our tracer product, marked probably over 1 billion units of real products globally, including things like printed circuit boards for name manufacturers of mobile phones, et cetera, day-to-day household goods, pharmaceuticals. We protect, actually with a different technology, Australian exports to China. So we've got a range of technologies. We've got a ready audience for what we're doing, and the world has now become much more aware of the need to know what you're ingesting or what you're touching or what you're eating. And this is a perfect storm, if you like, for YPB.
Well, who are some of your customers, some of your clients, some of these brands using this technology?
So some of them I cannot mention because of, I guess, commercial sensitivity. But I'll give you a couple of examples that we are allowed to mention. We are trusted by governments. I can't mention the specific governments, but there's 3 governments around the world where we place a security tracer, which is our intellectual property, onto the front of the passport, which is able to be scanned by the authority. We cover hundreds of millions of passports in that regard. We operate with, for example, the largest security label producer in China, and that label producer produces about 15 billion labels per annum. And their biggest issue is that, for example, with QR codes, and if I can just show you that, that's a QR code with their labels. Their biggest issue now is that the QR code is readily copyable by counterfeiters. Our technology defends against that and allows the brand to authenticate whether it's real or not. We work with Nature One Dairy, which is a really exciting and vibrant Australian company that does what is actually quite a large growth opportunity export business into China, which is in the infant formula space, Nature One Dairy. Nature One Dairy also contract manufacture for many other Australian brands. So that's a great reference point for us. Nature's Care, which is a nutraceutical company that exports again to China. That's a new company that we've recently signed. So that hopefully gives your viewers a flavour of the type of businesses that we have been able to secure as customers.
And what about the nature of the deals? Are these, is it a SaaS model? Are these recurring revenues?
So there's two models. It's a good question. There's two models. So with our tracer, and potentially what I could do is just show you what a tracer really means or looks like. So what I'll do is I'll get this is a shrink wrap product. We've got that's our first generation scanner. I'll show you the second generation in a second. You can detect the presence of the tracer in the label, and I can give you some other examples. This is a cable deal that we've done in China with a new generation scanner that we have. So I've just clicked that into the cable. That in Chinese says that is verified and real. That one is not real. That's a counterfeit side. So on that basis, we charge an application fee. So depending on the number of applications, it could be 1 cent or less, a fraction of a cent. So you'd be amazed at how inexpensive it is for a brand to engage with our tracer technology. Yet, even though the numbers are low, we've done huge numbers of applications, and the margins for us as a business are very high, in the plus 90% range. Then the other product that we have is what we call Connect. So we have a technology that allows brands to place a QR code in a serialized QR code on, for example, in Nature One Dairy's case, an infant formula can. And with our Connect platform, which is a SaaS platform, we charge an application fee for each QR code, and then a monthly fee for the platform operation.
So what are the plans, John? What do you see as those growth areas, the opportunities?
Look, the growth areas are in both areas. Funnily enough, due to COVID-19, and I don't think we predicted this, but China's recognition and appreciation of the real products against fake products has just exploded in the last 3 to 6 months. So funnily enough, our kind of next steps, and in answer to your question, is that we're seeing great growth out of our China business, and that's just putting simple, inexpensive tracer into products so that brands can identify if it's real or not. The second thing is that our Connect platform, where we've marked over 100 million products with our QR codes, is an area of growth because, again, Australian exporters or Asian exporters selling to other places via e-commerce or via distributors really need to be able to find a connection to the end consumer. And this Connect platform gives a direct interaction to the end consumer via the consumer's smartphone. So that's a really cool and growing technology that we think is going to be very compelling. And then the third thing, and probably the really, really exciting thing, is our technology called Motive Micro. So I showed you a moment ago this little scanner. Every brand I've ever shown this scanner to in the world says three things. They say, one, I've never seen anything like that before. Two, can you get that to talk to your mobile phone? Three, why can't you get your mobile phone to do that? That's what we really want. And we've got that technology. We have the global perpetual distribution rights to technology out of MIT in Boston called Motive Micro. And we've proven our first beta situations with Motive Micro, and we've put it into labels, pharmaceutical bottle tops, shrink wrap, all sorts of things in trials very successfully. In the last couple of weeks, we announced the capability to read Motive Micro with an Android operating system. Previously, it had only been on iOS. And so we're really excited about that. Imagine this, you could take your phone and go up to a product and using our app, touch the product with the app, and it will tell you if it's real or not. It's just an absolute breakthrough in the world of not only authenticity, but also engagement. And we always say that authenticity triggers engagement, which is very important for brands.
Well, John, nice place to get a final thought from you then. When you're out talking to investors, what do you say, if you had to boil it down to a couple of key points, what's the real investment case in YPB?
So first of all, don't look back, look forward, because we've admitted and we've been pretty vocal about it. If you look at our various reports over the last 18 months or so, it's not been an easy time for YPB, and I've had to completely rebuild the company. And we've been honest in saying that we made a mistake, and we have rectified that. Our cost base is now controllable. And, the great thing about YPB, it's a revenue solution. So we're now starting to toll much better revenues, and look forward to the day when, the biggest brands in the world want to create a connection to the end consumer through their product. And Motive Micro is exactly the way to do that. It's the ability, the power to put the consumer in touch with the product around authenticity. And look, the opportunity, I can't calculate how big the opportunity is. I've just reinvested into the company because at the beginning of COVID, it was very, very difficult to get third-party investment into the company. I completely believe in it. I'm probably the most committed in terms of philosophically and also financially CEO and chairman you'll ever find in microcap land. So look forward to enormous opportunities. And, one day some of the big pharma companies or some of the big label manufacturers or printers in the world will wake up and say, oh, we need exactly that technology. And so, look, this is, I think, the beginning of a fabulous journey for our shareholders and our shareholders of the future.
John, it's been great to meet you. Looking forward to following the story. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Andrew.